Hello and welcome to $100,000 per month while working 4 hours per week or less as an online coach training. So in this video, I'll teach you exactly that, how to get to 100K per month and work 4 hours per week or less, or exit your business completely, meaning sell your business. So how do I know this? I went from $0 to $1.2 million in 12 months with health and fitness brand, and I'll teach you exactly how to do the same. So the agenda for this training is brand and long-term vision, who to serve, ideal client and target audience, how to price your product and service, optimizing your service delivery, client acquisition, client retention, hiring and managing a team, and finally, the exit itself. So let's start with brand and long-term vision. There are two ways how you can go about your brand. So you build your personal brand and sell your programming and sell your services that way, or you can build another business. So what's the difference and what you should consider before doing either? So if you build your personal brand and you only sell your services through your personal brand, what can happen that I've seen with some coaches that they, after 5 years or so, they say like, okay, I don't want to do online coaching anymore. I actually want to do something else. I want to help other coaches or anything else. That's just an example. And what happens then is that they shift their content and they start losing potential business. So if they had another business that they built on the side, like another brand, their coaching brand, what they could do then is over time, they could start removing themselves from that business in terms of like building the content. They could introduce other professionals to the content. And this way they would build an actual business around it, an actual brand that they can remove themselves from, and then they can have other people running the business, or they can sell the business altogether. So completely cash out. And if you're doing it with your personal brand, you won't be able to do that. You're not able to sell your own name because you have to be associated with this. So you have to think about these things. I do recommend building a business on the side, but it's really up to you what you want to do long term. So how this would look like, you're still growing your personal brand. It doesn't mean you have to stop doing what you're doing. What it means is that you're doing what you're doing, but directing more people to your other brand. And with other brand, you're acquiring more followers, more leads with paid ads, partnerships, and other sources, such as like, I don't know, maybe affiliate marketing or referrals. And basically share testimonials there, provide more value, introduce your team. So as I mentioned, in the future, you start introducing other people who you can say, hey, this is a nutrition specialist that I brought onto the team so we can deliver the best results for you. And you slowly start introducing more and more people and removing yourself from the content. So it's not only about you. And this way you will be able to build a business that you can, again, exit or completely remove yourself and allow others to run it. So there are three options of how you can grow your online coaching business. You can have app, you can have one-on-one coaching, and then you have group coaching. So let's go over all of them. First of all, let's start with option 3, which is App Store and like in applications. And I'm not talking about Trainerize. I'm talking about building a custom app and then selling your program for $49.99, like generic program. Don't do that. We've built this kind of business, and it was really like, it's good at first, but you reach a certain point of scale where you're stuck. And for these kind of businesses, churn rate is pretty high. So you're compensating with new clients to cover the churned people. Especially when you're at scale, you're losing a lot of people every single month. So you don't want to do that. Instead, what you can do is do one-on-one coaching. If you don't have many clients, you can have one-on-one coaching, and then you can turn that into group coaching. So group coaching is something you would have 2 weekly calls, like with all of your clients, and then basically people can ask you questions there, you provide feedback, and so on and so forth. So you still have your face in the business. They feel like they receive what they pay for, like your service specifically. And that doesn't cost you a lot of time, because if you have 10 clients, and do one-on-one, you would have to have 10 calls in a week. So that's 10 hours. Instead of that, you can have 2 calls, and then it will be 2 hours. Imagine if you have 40 clients. So you see where I'm going with this. Like one-on-one is not really scalable, and group coaching is something that you can scale. And you might think like people won't get enough value with group coaching, but that is very untrue. So first of all, why would you do one-on-one why don't you even start with group coaching? So if you don't have many clients, you don't necessarily want to have a very small community. And that's because it doesn't provide enough trust. So if you say like, oh, you're going to be able to join my community and get a lot of value there, and people join your community and there's like 5 people. So you see where I'm going with this. People are not going to trust you. And for me, for example, I started this business, like coaching business, helping coaches scale to 10K per month or more, is that I deliver amazing results and I work with people one-on-one. And I'm very honest about how I'm going to shift the business in the future. Like I tell them, okay, you're going to work with me one-on-one. You're going to get a lot more of my time than anyone who joins in the future who's going to pay more for my service, because I'm trying to get the proof of concept working and I know exactly the programming that I need to build. So this way, I am able to give amazing results and they are aware of what's going to happen in the future. So that's what the next point is: be transparent about service delivery and how it might change in the future. So again, I say, let's do one-on-one now, and then in the future, it's going to shift to group coaching. And once we reach a certain point. So be very, very transparent with that, because you don't want to create distrust. Okay, so will I have enough time to answer everyone's questions on a group call? Won't people feel left out? And the answer is no. I belong to quite a few group coaching programs, like mentorships and so on. And most of the times, all of those people have the same questions, just because we are all business people in the group coaching programs that I'm in. Like we're all very similar. So we all have very similar questions, and there's no point for the person running the mentorship programs to actually answer the same question multiple times in person to everyone, while that can be done to everyone. So the same goes with fitness. You don't have to have one-on-ones to answer all of the questions. Group coaching calls is like enough time. 2 hours per week is enough to answer everyone's questions. And how that works is that people in the community will support one another. So they will answer each other's questions, even in Slack or Discord or whatever you use for the community. They will answer each other's questions, and people you serve will be very similar and have very similar questions. So once you identify your ideal client, your target audience, which we're going to discuss in the next section, is that they're going to be so similar. They're going to have such a similar problems. They're going to have similar lifestyles even, and they will be able to help each other while you sleep. So this is kind of why it's important to have your ideal client persona and target a specific niche of people who are very similar. So to kind of recap, this section is you can still grow your personal brand, but I recommend building another brand on the side specifically for your coaching business, where you direct people from your personal brand to that. And from there, you can have one-on-one coaching and then turn them into group coaching. Or if you have enough clients, you can do group coaching right away. And from there, they're going to be very similar, because they're going to meet the ideal client persona requirements, and you're going to target that ideal client persona with ads, with partnerships, and other sources of leads. And then again, you're going to attract more of the same people, and this will make selling and managing your community much easier. Okay, so we've just gone through brand and long-term vision in $100,000 per month while working 4 hours per week or less as an online coach. Now we're at who to serve, meaning your ideal client and your target audience. So there is only one winning strategy. It is to carefully define the target market and direct a superior offer to that target market. Philip Kotler. So essentially, you can only win by having ideal client, targeting the specific market, and essentially having a niche with a great offer. So why would you want to do that? Why would you want to have your ideal client persona instead of helping everyone? Because you're amazing at what you do and you can help every person on this planet. Well, you want to become a go-to expert. If you're a go-to expert, you will be able to earn more, because you will be able to charge more. When you go see a specialist of any kind, you always pay more to the person who is an expert in that specific field that you need help with. So you will be able to earn more, and clients you actually enjoy working with. So once you identify that target audience, that ideal client, you define it in a way to work with people you actually enjoy working with, because we've all had clients that we say we would never want to work with again. So that's why you need to identify the people that you enjoy, not only can help, but you can enjoy working with. So it's also easier to acquire clients. So similar beliefs allow you to address them in your content and marketing. So if they have these limiting beliefs, you can break them with your content. They all have same or similar pain points. You stand out by speaking about their pains. So once they go on your profile, they see that you're solving their exact problem. Like I talk about their problems better than they could do it themselves. And this way they see you like, okay, you can talk about their problem in such specific detail, you must know the answer to the problem. So that's why, again, you will become an expert this way. And you know their circumstances, speaking directly to them, they are more likely to convert. So you know your client, you know your ideal client so well, you cover all of these points, and when they watch your videos, they say, oh, this is exactly me. So how can you give the results who can you give the results the quickest? Think about that as well. So it's not only about who you enjoy working with, not their other kind of metrics in a way, but who can you give the results the quickest? So the longer it takes for a person to get the results, the less likely they are to be happy about your service and recommend it to others. So how can you deliver quick wins? Who can you deliver quick wins to? And as you can see, if you give the results really quick, they're going to say, this is awesome. If it takes a long time, they're going to say, this doesn't work, maybe just before they take off and achieve amazing results. So think about that. Who can you help achieve the results the quickest? And yeah. So who do you enjoy working with the most? That's another thing that I mentioned. So you have gender, age, interests, lifestyle, income, pain points and problems, their location potentially, and plus personality traits. That's a big one. So many people disregard this, specifically when you're building a community and a coaching business. You really want to think about the personality traits. So how motivated they are and all of these other aspects that these don't cover. The person might meet every single one of these, but they might not be committed and not meet the personality traits that you're looking for in the people that you work with. That's why you want to make sure you have this nailed down as well. Whose problems do you know better than they do? That's something that I already mentioned. Like whose problems do you know better than they do themselves? So when they watch your content, when they see your ads, they have to say, oh my God, he's talking about me. I'm struggling with exactly that. If he knows that, he must know how to solve this problem. And if you, again, speak about their problems and the pains that they're having and the beliefs that they have in such a detail, they're going to believe that you have the answer to their problems. So that's why you have to have that niche nailed down and have all of these things like to a T, so that when you create content, when you run ads, you know exactly who you're speaking with, how you're speaking with them, what resonates with them, what doesn't resonate with them, and so on and so forth. And that takes me to the next point. So don't be afraid to say no to prospects. It's really hard at first when you're growing your business. If you're doing like 2-3K per month, you might want to take on every single person that you can. But if you're building your business for the long term and thinking about building a community, you have to be able to say no. So let's say you have this like completely in complete detail. You know exactly who your ideal client is, and someone comes in and they say like, I want to work with you, but they don't meet that. You have to say no, because that one person is going to cost you a lot more time. It's going to bring down the community, because imagine you are in a community of fitness coaches and then someone from the construction comes, or from like a realtor, and asks their own questions that have no benefit to you or anyone else in the community. Why would you want that kind of person? Like you would say, like, this is not what I paid for. So that's why you have to be able to say no to prospects. And once you're growing and you say like, okay, I can see that these people, like this small group right here, actually achieves the results the quickest. They bring the most referrals and so on and so forth. So there's that 80-20 rule. So 20% of the people, 20% of the people will bring 80% of the results. So you have to focus on that 20%. So at this point right here, you would say like, okay, I don't really like working with these people. These people are no longer a fit for my program. And that's how you make this piece of the pie even smaller. But at this point, you're able to charge a lot more money because you create scarcity, you create, basically you don't take everyone else, like everyone, and you're very specific about who you work with. So this brings a lot more value to your community. So to kind of recap, you have your ideal client that you refine consistently and say who is no longer a fit, and then you create the scarcity. He must be an expert. When you create the content specifically for that audience, then if someone wants to join and they don't meet the criteria, you say, unfortunately, I can't work with you. You have dream clients. You work with people you really enjoy working with, the people who see amazing results much faster than everyone else. You create amazing community that supports each other. You create scarcity because you don't work with everyone, you don't take on everyone. This means there's like a select few that can only join, meaning you can charge more. And the more you charge, the happier you are. So less work, more enjoyable work, more cash equals happy life. So we've just gone through brand and long-term vision, who to serve in $100,000 per month while working 4 hours per week or less training. Now we're at how to price your product and service. So pricing and business model will make or break your business. And your business model will define your churn rate, which can cause death to your business. So, here we go. So mobile app and cheap services for $49.99. Basically, I've made this kind of calculations based on the churn rate and the average order value and the clients you get per month and the ad spend. So this is hypothetical, by the way, like the average order value and clients for $2,000 spent. So let's say your average order value is $49.99 and you get 40 clients by spending $2,000 on ads, but your churn rate is 20%. So let's jump back right here. Yep. So you have $2,000. So in the first month, you actually break even. And month 2, you have 20% churn rate. So 20% of people dropped off. So you made $1,600 in profit and you spent $2,000. So $1,600 is profit. And then month 3, you're at 2,000, almost 900. But as you can see, by month 10, you're close to $7,000. But that's when you kind of cap out, because after even on month 19, you're still only making $7,853 per month. And as you can see, month 18, you were making $7,817. And it's very, very like the growth is very slow just because you have a high churn rate. And you can say, well, I can reduce the churn rate. And that is nice to say, but you can't really do that as easily, because with the cheap services and mobile applications, you attract people who always look for the cheap solutions. They don't really commit. They are much more likely to cancel. They're looking for a bargain. And 20% is a very realistic number, like 18 to 20%. And as you can see, like it's not really scalable because you're really stuck. Like looking at month 10 to month 19, you're just like you increased it not even by $1,000. And you have 197 clients to work with. So what that means is that if you keep the ad spend the same, you're pretty much flat out. Like you don't really grow. So that's the biggest problem with this kind of business model. What you have to do then is increase the ad spend to cover the churned clients. If you increase the ad spend, you will get more clients. What you have to think about then is that when you increase your ad spend, your client acquisition costs will actually increase. So that's the thing with any kind of advertising platform. And I know this because I spent well over $5 million on ads, is that the more you increase your ad spend, the more expensive it gets to acquire clients. So your profits will drop. You will probably lose money on the first charge, meaning you will constantly be chasing that. So if you want to make more money, you constantly have to spend more. And that's not something that's not a position you want to put yourself in. So let's say your churn rate is 10%, you will achieve the $10,000 profit at month 9, but I don't really think you can achieve that just because you won't be able, like, how can you help 245 people effectively while earning $10,000? Like, you can't really do that. It's not really scalable that much. So unless you're willing to constantly spend on ads, and there are other risks involved in this. So high churn, constantly increased advertising budget to cover churn clients, what I just mentioned, payment processing, temporary hold and or restrictions. That is a huge one, because with PayPal will most likely treat you as high risk business, meaning they will hold about 30% of the revenue you generate for 90 days. So imagine on one day you generated $1,000, $300 will go to PayPal and they will keep it for 90 days. So imagine what kind of cash flow issues that creates, and especially if you're breaking even or losing money on the first charge. So you're pretty much losing money every single day and from the cash flow. And yeah, you don't want to put yourself in that position. You have a lot of unhappy customers because the program is generic. They're not really seeing the results. Only some are seeing results, and again, you're gonna have a lot of unhappy customers. Then it requires a larger team because you need customer support to talk to those people and so on and so forth. And then you're gonna have bad reviews because people don't see the results. And you can't be as lenient with refunds as well, because again, you're breaking even most likely on the first charge. And what that means is, like, if you give a refund, you're losing money right away. Like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to be in that position. Okay, and then we have $200 per month, one-on-one or group coaching. So let's say your average order value is $200, ad spend is $2,000, you acquired 15 clients, you're $1,000 profit. Then month 2, you're $3,700 profit, and then by month 5, you're already at $10,285. And again, these are hypothetical numbers. It really depends on your business, how many clients you will be able to onboard. We're going to go through client acquisition in the future steps, but it is possible to do this. And why I kept churn rate at 10% is because you're working with people one-on-one or in a group setting, and they have a community. So they have much, much higher perceived value. And then once you have that ideal client defined, something that we mentioned in a previous section is that they feel like they're receiving more than what they paid for. And they're getting so much value, and they're getting the community, and they're getting your time, and they don't want to leave that community, so they're paying $200. And you're attracting your ideal clients, meaning you enjoy working with them, and most likely they enjoy working with you. That's why it's so important to have that part as well. And once you take it to this step and have one-on-one or group coaching at a mid-high or high-ticket value, you can scale much easier, and you can provide results so much easier to 51 person than 245 for the same price. So you see where I'm going with this. It might take you potentially longer, but in the first few months, but if you look long-term, like, this is the business model to go to. You don't want to go into that application low-ticket offers. It's really not worth it. And as you can see, your churn is low, the MRR is high, so you keep your ad spend the same, and your customers are keep growing over time. So this is the position where you want to be in. And imagine if you increase this, like, this will just go like this. So yeah, think about your business model and how you're pricing your product and service. So let's kind of go over different methods. This is the $200 MRR with the same ad spend. You can see the revenue growing and the customers, whereas in $49.99, if you don't increase your ad spend, you flat out. And if you want to grow, you actually need to increase your budget ad spend quite significantly. Another option is paid in full, so it really helps cash flow. you have commitment and results. So if someone pays you, let's say you charge $200 per month, and the customer usually stays with you for 6 months, let's say, and that is $1,200. So you can tell them, okay, you want to join my program, it's $1,000 if you pay in full now, and you have access for 6 months. Otherwise, it will be $1,200 if you pay month by month. And once they pay $1,000, they will be a lot more committed. Once you have the financial investment, you have emotional investment, you're much more likely to make it work just because you already paid that money up front. And as a result, you're going to have a better client satisfaction just because people achieve the results quicker, just because they have that emotional investment. So this is a good way to achieve great results, have a better cash flow, and have a better client satisfaction rate. Another thing is you have to think about your price and how it is not based on hours, especially when you build a group coaching program and let's say you have to spend an hour per week on one client and your hourly rate is $100. Like, you're not going to charge them $100. If you deliver amazing results and you're targeting higher income people, you can charge $400 per month, even though it costs you $100 per month. And that is called business. Like, you're building a business where you can scale and earn as much money as you can while providing the best results and providing the best service and the product. So, and also the more you charge, the higher quality clientele you will bring, because they will have another higher perceived value as well. So if they pay for a program $20 and then they pay $400, they will think that the $400 one is better. It's the same as like you not knowing anything about wine. You see an expensive wine and you see the cheap wine. You'll probably think that the expensive wine is better just because it's more expensive. So this is the same thing. Don't charge for your hours, charge for your results. So in summary, don't do cheap services and don't do applications, and go for mid-high/high ticket MRR or PIFs. More cash equals happier you. So you want to be in that position where you have a business, you can enjoy your life and you don't have to work 12 hours a day or spend a tremendous amount of money to cover the churn clients. We've just gone through brand and long-term vision, who to serve, how to price your product and service, and the $100,000 per month while working 4 hours per week or less as an online coach. Now we're at optimizing your service delivery section. So the right platform for you, I would always say try different platforms for yourself and see which one you prefer, and do it not only from the coach's perspective, but from a client's perspective as well. So for health and fitness coaches, there's TrueCoach, there's Trainerize, there's Google Sheets. There are plenty more, but I've only added those that I've used. So I prefer Trainerize over TrueCoach. That's just my personal preference. And then business and other kind of stuff. So for my online coaching clients, I use Notion and High Level. So High Level is more of a CRM at the moment. It's just where I keep the emails, I send the newsletter and so on. But Notion is where I have everything for my programming. I know some health and fitness coaches who use Google Sheets and Notion as well. So again, test it out. There's no one best way. There are different kind of apps, different kind of systems but they have to work for you. And again, it's just a preference thing. So if someone says you that this is the best thing for the application, test it out yourself just to see what works better for you. Then you have risk management, so communication. There might be situations, especially if you're growing quite rapidly and you might want to shift from one application to another, let's say from Trainerize to TrueCoach, and all of your communication was on Trainerize. So you don't want to lose all of that communication. You want to keep your communication on a separate application that is dedicated to communication. That can be Slack, Discord. I'm currently using Telegram, but I'm going to switch to Slack in the future once I start building a community, because I'm only working one-on-one with people now. So that's why you kind of mitigate those risks. And what can happen? So I need to move to another platform, but I can't. All of my client payments or communication are on here. So if you want to move from TrueCoach to Trainerize and your payments and communication is on TrueCoach, well, tough luck. So that's why that's even the bigger one, risk management with payments. Payments is the biggest part of your business. Like, you need money to sustain that business. And let's say, imagine you took the payments through Trainerize. What happens then is, once you want to move to a different platform, if you do decide to move, you have to move all of your payments, and that's going to be pain in the, So you want to keep your payments on a platform that is dedicated for payments, which is Stripe. The Stripe is the best solution for payment processing. It's like the biggest platform in the world. So use Stripe and you won't have that issue. I do have to mention, a worthy mention of PayPal. Don't use PayPal. In my experience in business, so what happened was, once we started scaling like really rapidly, what happened is that we received an email saying, we are going to put a reserve on your account, like a rolling reserve. So at one point we had over $200,000 just frozen on PayPal. We couldn't do anything with, and that hit cash flow pretty hard. Another thing is, once you start scaling, you're going to see like your payment processor has been like blocked. Provide this kind of information, provide this. And that happened for one business, for one account, I think 4 or 5 times, where you wake up in the morning and you see like you cannot take payments, and then you provide all of the information and they take like 72 hours or something like that to like review the documents. And it's just like, you don't want to have those issues. So you might as well just select something that actually works. And also PayPal fees are pretty high, so you don't want to, I definitely don't recommend this. Like, personal experience, if I can avoid using PayPal, I will do that at any cost. Then we have delivery for health and fitness. So templates for most common pain points. You might say, well, clients pay me to build them custom programs, and yes, they do. But you have to understand one thing. So we discussed target audience and your ideal client persona and how they're going to have very similar pains and problems, meaning most of your clients have the same problems. There are some caveats for each client, but what you want to do is create templates for most common pain points and adjust them based on the client's needs. This will save you so much time, and your client will be able to start training much sooner. So it will kind of give them a quick win, just because, okay, I received this, I can start this. I haven't been to the gym for years, and now I don't have a program, but I paid, and then I had to wait like a week for a program. Instead, you send them in like 2 days or a day, saying like, hey, this is the program. I stayed overnight just so you can start working out, because I know you want to kick things off as soon as possible. Higher perceived value, just like that. Less work for you. Then you have like instructional videos. So if you're like a fitness coach, you can film videos explaining how to do the exercises. And again, once people see you showing how to do the exercises, that's higher perceived value. Because if they go on the, let's say, Trainerize, and they see someone else showing how to do the exercises, well, it feels very generic. And filming those videos, just dedicate like few days, go to the gym, get like permission to film, and that's it. Like, it's going to be so much more valuable for your clients. And for my clients, I actually film all of my videos and all of the instructions, how to do certain things with ads, and how to position themselves in messaging, and how to do all kinds of lead generation. I talk about everything. I don't use anything generic from YouTube. So keep that in mind. Then ask for feedback. This is very, very important. So once you onboard someone, you give them a quick win, and then you ask them for feedback. How is the onboarding? What did you like? What didn't you like? Collect that data. Then once they start training, they have the outcome, they achieve the results, and ask for feedback again. Collect that data. Once you have enough data, make changes. And you're going to make your program so good that people will have less and less bad things to say about your programming and service, and as a result, there's going to be higher perceived value for future clients who you can then charge more. So you're always building and improving your business this way. You've just gone through brand and long-term vision, who to serve, how to price your product and service, optimizing your service delivery, And now we're at client acquisition at $100,000 per month while working 4 hours per week or less as an online coach. So let's get started. This is the most important, like the most, not important, but the most exciting part for me, just because I'm very passionate about client acquisition. So there are different ways how you can acquire clients. It's organic, active engagement, referrals, paid advertising, offer, and guarantee. So offer and guarantee kind of goes with all of the above. Let's start with the organic. So choose the right platform for you. Don't do every single platform. YouTube is good for long-term sales assets. So whatever you post on YouTube, it can bring you clients years into the future. Instagram is a good source of cold qualified leads. It's a short-term kind of game in terms of you post a video, it's going to be ranking for some time, and it's unlikely to bring you clients 2 years from now. So it's good for cold leads, and YouTube is also somewhat good for cold leads, but it's more of a, you get people from Instagram on YouTube and vice versa. So TikTok is a lot of views with few sales. So there's a lot of people engaging, you can get a lot of views. The algorithm really works in your favor in terms of views, but it's not really great for kind of long-term sales. And if you're on TikTok, I would recommend directing people to your Instagram and YouTube so that you can actually convert them into like sales calls and potential clients. Okay, so I know this is organic section, but we need to discuss like the difference between organic and paid. So with paid, you have high quality leads because you target your ideal client, because paid ads allow you to do that. And you have very low input in terms of time. You don't need to spend a lot of time creating that content. You create a few ads, you launch them, you find a winning one, and that's it. It keeps on going and you don't really have to put in much more time. Whereas with organic, you have low quality leads many times because it goes out to everyone, like to people who simply engage and don't necessarily meet your ideal client persona. And input in terms of time is very high because you have to consistently create content. As I said just now, is with organic on Instagram, it's a very short-term game. So even if you hit algorithm, it's a very short-lived most of the times. So my choice is always paid, but just because organic ends up costing more in terms of my time. So when I take my hourly rate and multiply it by the hours that I have to spend creating organic content versus what I can spend on ads and acquire the same number of high quality leads, it's much cheaper in terms of that. And I spent well over $5 million on ads, so I'm kind of aware of how this works. But it's not about if paid advertising works for you, it's about how well you can make it work for you. So that's something Alex Hormozi said. If you don't know who Alex Hormozi is, well, you have to Google him. He provides some amazing content. But there's a big but. You must do organic regardless. And let me explain. So organic builds goodwill. You can become an expert in the field and you break limiting beliefs with your organic content and you build trust. That is very, very important. This way you provide value. The more value you provide, the easier it will be to sell. So again, you have to build goodwill, become an expert in the field, break limiting beliefs, build trust, provide value, and then you sell. And that happens through organic content, meaning you don't focus on organic content to basically attract new leads to you. You use that as a sales asset in the middle of the funnel instead of the top of the funnel. If you don't do it, you need a promise or a guarantee. You have to hard sell people on the sales calls, and you have low sales call conversion rates, a lot of calls and few sales, a lot of wasted time. So you get a lot of people on the calls who don't trust you, they don't know you, and it's just like they saw you while they were scrolling and that's it. So you don't have that goodwill and trust and value provided just yet. Then we have active engagement. This is going to be like the only slide about active engagement, just because I feel like I know it's like very time consuming and it doesn't bring results as good. Like it costs way more even than organic. So comment on competitors' posts with value content, follow the followers of your competitors, engage with the followers of your competitors, search for relevant hashtags, and engage with the content, or you can even cold DM people. There are certain things you can do to automate this, to bring that into like overall strategy. But if you actively do this yourself, don't. It's very time consuming, and especially like cold DMs, and like cold DMs specifically seem very desperate. And I saw a lady complaining about this on one of the weight loss groups on Facebook, saying, is anyone else annoyed by all of these fitness coaches messaging you about their services? So you can imagine how many DMs they receive like per week. So you don't want to be one of those coaches, because people just get annoyed and that doesn't build trust at all. And think about this, like if someone came to you offering their services and you came to them for their services, who do you value more? Who do you trust more? Who do you think is valuable? Who is more expensive? Who would you be willing to pay more money to? So think about these things yourself. And then we have referrals. This is best long-term strategy. So you have a coach, you have one client, and then that client brings you 2 more clients. Those 2 more clients bring you 4 more clients. And it's kind of like an endless cycle of new clients and more cash collected. So how do you do it effectively? That's the question. First of all, you saw this probably in the other sections. If you haven't, it's about delivering quick wins. So the quicker you can provide the win, the happier people will be. And the happier people will be, the more likely they are to refer to you to their friends and family. And if it takes them long to achieve something, they say it won't work for anyone, it doesn't work for them, and they won't refer you. Then you have to ask. So some coaches forget to do this. You've been doing amazing. Do you know anyone just like you who could benefit from my services? Again, make it about them. So do you know anyone just like you? Like, I love working with you. You're amazing. Do you know anyone like you? This will kind of touch their ego in a good way. So you wanna do that. You wanna make it about them, but it will help you. Or you can ask and offer a reward system. So who is someone you'd like to do this with? If you do it with a friend, it will be $150 each instead of $200 each. So you both save together $100 per month. And this is a good way if someone is asking you for a discount. That's one way, or they're kind of on the edge and you just want more cash collected. So you can do this as well. And you can do this for your clients, like even your best clients, saying like, hey, if you bring a friend, if you bring me a client, I'll get $50 off like for the rest of the time for my services, for your training, and I'll give them the same. So this way you will be able to save a lot of money, because you have to think about how much does it cost for you to acquire a client? How much can you pay a person to bring their friend? So if it costs you $100 to acquire a client, well, you can pay them $100. So do the math for your business. And you might not like the guy, you might not like what he says, but there's always something to learn from people, especially those you don't like most of the times. But he is a marketing genius, and let me explain how he achieved the success that he has, and how he became so famous in such a short amount of time. So he has this program, Hustlers University or something, or The Real World, I don't remember. He has this program, how to make money online. And his target audience is young men who have a lot of time, want to be rich, but don't have any money. So he's teaching them how to make money. And basically, let's jump into the next slide. So with his content, what he does, he breaks beliefs. He shows them like that it's possible. It's that rags to riches story. Then he sells them a program on how to make money online. Okay, so it's a $49.99. You can make money online. And then what he teaches them there is affiliate marketing, which is it's the same thing as referrals. Referrals is person to person. Affiliate marketing is business to other people. But he taught them affiliate marketing, and basically with affiliate marketing, he taught them how to attract more clients for his business. So he offered affiliate marketing for his program. So, okay, you're in this program of mine. If you bring a person, you will get percentage of the revenue that we collect. And he taught them how to do like TikTok and so on. So people created TikToks about him and his program using the belief-breaking content that he provided. So everyone started posting on TikTok about him. And then imagine like thousands upon thousands of people posting content, like his content about him, directing to his program. So he built his own personal brand, he became famous, and people made money. So it kind of reinforced even more content. And the more money they made, the more content they put out. And that kind of created the endless cycle. Then his brand blew up, so people, even more people started posting, and then it just kind of like, it was the endless cycle of growth. And that's how he built it. And you might know Athletic Greens brand, like this is similar thing what they're doing right now. So if, let's say they're offering 30% commission. So if I become an affiliate with them and I sell their subscription that was worth $100 per month, I will get $30 until that person who bought cancels. So if they stayed for 10 months, I will get $300. And this is one of the reasons why their product is so expensive, just because they have to pay out those like affiliate payments. So that's another way to grow. Like that's a really good way to grow. So that's why you have to think about how you can encourage your clients to sell your program for you. Think about that. And even if your advertising stops working, even if the advertising costs go up, you still have people referring other people to you just because you have a good reward system. So that is referrals. And then we have paid advertising. Okay, so there are many platforms you can advertise on, which is YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok, Google, and there's probably plenty more. Well, of course, there's native, a lot more platforms, but you have to select a few. I would always suggest YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, depending on your clientele. So pick a strategy, and you probably know these guys. These are kind of like OGs of our time now in marketing. You have Russell Brunson, who created ClickFunnels, and then you have Alex Hormozi, who has been putting out quite a lot of content in the recent year or two, and he released 2 books, $100 million offers and $100 million leads, with phenomenal value. Another thing about Russell Brunson is that he created this webinar structure that is extremely effective, or was extremely effective. And what they're doing is great, like they really changed the game, but it's a double-edged sword. And the problem with that is like once this information becomes publicly available for free, everyone is doing it. And when everyone is doing it, it stops working as well as it used to. So keep that in mind. That's what I said, double-edged sword. So have you seen this before? Big statement, then you have call out target audience, you have email capture, and you have testimonials. Then you have big statement, call out target audience, then you have a video, like a webinar or VSL. VSL stands for video sales letter. And you watch that, and then there's like, oh, buy now. It used to be $4,997, and now it's only $49.99. And it's only available for the next 10 minutes unless you refresh the page. And then there's testimonials. And always like notice there's always 7 at the end, like always, just because that Russell Brunson is teaching that. And then from there you buy that, and it goes like, wait, there's more. Thank you for the purchase. This used to be $14,997 and it's now $997, and it is only available for a limited time. This is not going to be available anywhere else. Testimonials and the same thing. And if you didn't buy this, then you will get automation to buy this. If you didn't buy this but bought this, you will get automation to buy this. So we've all seen this, and it's really annoying to say the least. And what I mentioned about Russell Brunson is that the perfect webinar kind of framework that he created, that this is his framework. And the problem is like, we've all seen it. And I don't know if you watched it, but you can, if you haven't, go watch it. There's $100 million leads, the release of the book of Alex Hormozi. And I was watching it and I was cringing. I love the guy. I have so much respect for both of them. They've done amazing things. But the problem is he used the same framework that is so beat up at this point that when people watch it, they know what's coming. And he mentioned the prices of every single program that he created. Guess the last number of each price that he mentioned. You guessed it, it was 7. So I was watching and I was like, are you serious? Like, a person at his caliber still doing that, for me was like, okay, there is something wrong with this, that everyone has seen this, and people were commenting, and especially his target audience is people who are in the business and they know the framework. So it's kind of like, okay, this just sucks. And the same is in the fitness industry. Like, this is a screenshot that I saw like on Facebook. There were 2 ads side by side, like top and the bottom, just like this. I took a screenshot as it was. These are 2 different businesses. These are 2 different coaches selling their programs. So imagine how much of this people see. And what I do is I always click on these ads, so I get more of these kind of ads so I can see what other coaches are doing. And they're all the same. I even see the same landing pages from people using ClickFunnels and literally exact like template. And when you think about it, when people see these kind of templates, when they see 2, 3, 4, 5 coaches doing the same thing, the perceived value of the coach is very, very low. And they're much more likely to, even if they buy, they're much more likely to cancel, because let's say you're the first ad that they see, they buy, and then they see 5 other coaches doing the same thing. The perceived value of your program drops significantly. So please don't do that. So everyone's teaching this, and that is the problem. Everyone's saying do ClickFunnels, do this and do that. And it's not the way to go. And then we have 2 extremes in the especially like fitness business coaching. You have 2 extremes, which is paid advertising is a waste of money, and then organic marketing sucks. And a worthy mention of organic marketing coaches is that they say that paid advertising is a waste of money, but they still run ads themselves. So something to consider as well. And they're always fighting, and like, it's not the best way to go. So there's a better way when utilizing both. Okay, so you don't need a website or automations, you don't need ClickFunnels, none of that crap. So with paid advertising, as we looked at it before, you have high quality of leads and very low input. So you do that. With organic, you build goodwill, become an expert in the field, break limiting beliefs, build trust, and provide value. So you treat this as a top of the funnel, this as a middle of the funnel. Paid attracting high quality leads, organic nurture. Here we go. So paid advertising attract new clients, low input, high output within time frame. Organic content nurture, provide value, break beliefs. And then you have paid advertising plus organic equals less organic. So instead of doing organic 7 days a week, you do it 2 to 3 times a week. Then you have more sales and you have much more time. And if you watch this from the beginning, you will see, like if this training from the beginning, that if you structure your business right, you will be able to maybe even do 1 piece of organic content a week, or maybe even a month in a long term. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so first of all, we have top of the funnel. So organic will still bring you some followers, but they're going to be most likely low quality. You have low ads who are targeting ideal client persona, and you have word of mouth who are still going to be high quality leads. So you turn them into followers, and on the right you see this is the full kind of outline of what we have so far. So this is top of the funnel, this is the middle of the funnel. So middle of the funnel is content with which you break beliefs, provide value, and provide proof and testimonials. You have long-form content and short-form content. What's very important is your messaging. If you don't have the right messaging, you won't go far with this strategy. So you have to have the clear messaging. And that's why identifying your target audience and ideal client is so important. Then you turn people from lead to engaged lead. How do you do that? With comments, with stories they engage, and then DM. You can sometimes even close them within the DM, but you engage them in the DM, and ideally, if they are not ready to jump on a sales call, you send them a long form content so that they can engage with that a bit more, and then you book an appointment. From there, we have bottom of the funnel. So from booked appointment, you go to sales call. From sales call, you go to cross-sell or downsell. So if someone says your service is too expensive, you can have something to downsell them on. So some cheap program or generic program for $49.99 if you want to. Then cross-sell is they bought the program and you say like, hey, do you want to buy this? It's usually $500, but this is going to be one time like $200 or something like that. So think about how you can add more revenue to each client, so increasing that average order value and lifetime value, and then you have onboarding. So that's kind of the whole overview. You have paid, so that's like top of the funnel, organic middle of the funnel, and then you have bottom of the funnel, which is like sales call and so on. And I have to say, anyone can run ads, like anyone can run ads, but not everyone can run them profitably. And that's the biggest thing. A lot of people try running ads themselves and then they say, oh, it doesn't work. Like I've tried it, it doesn't work. And it's not about, again, I'll repeat what I said before. It's not about if ads work, it's how well you can make them work for you. And sometimes it will take time. And as Alex Hormozi said, like he loses money for a short term. Basically, he runs ads, he tests different angles, he tests his messaging, and then he loses money in the short term, but then once he finds a winner, he makes all of that money back that he lost and much, much more. So again, it's a long-term game. Sometimes you can make it, especially if with the right knowledge, with the right people, you can make it work much, much faster than doing it all yourself. And be mindful that if you put crap at the top, you're gonna get crap at the bottom, regardless of how good your middle of the funnel is. So keep that in mind. Okay, so what we've learned: ClickFunnels, VSLs, and webinars suck. Everyone's doing that. Organic is more expensive than paid. Ads is the best way to scale and build a brand consistently and predictably alongside organic. Paid without organic is very expensive because you just direct people from top of the funnel directly to the bottom, and you don't have proper nurturing. Organic only and active engagement is too time consuming and not scalable. Referrals are a great way to grow for free with little to no input. And you have to build a system that is simple yet effective and unsaturated. So the system that I showed you it's not too complex, and that's the beauty of it. Like you don't need to overcomplicate things. You don't need automations or websites and so on. Like do what works and make it as natural as possible. When people go on websites, it feels like you're selling to them. If you're keeping everything in an organic format, it feels organic, then people don't feel like you're selling to them, and that builds trust. So, and it's unsaturated, so that's the beauty of it. Then we have offer and guarantees. So offer step one, make 4 lists about your target audience / ideal client persona, their pain points, their dream outcomes, major obstacles, outcomes if they don't take action. So, that says 3 lists, but it's 4. So pain points: excess weight in early 30s, dream outcome, being healthy and fit to be able to, and then their dream outcome. Major obstacles: self-conscious to go to the gym, hates cardio. Outcome if they don't take action: heart problems, risks of early death. So step 2, craft one-line message that speaks directly to all of those points. So I help career-driven women in early 30s achieve dream bodies without going to the gym and reduce the risk of heart problems. That's okay. Or I help career-driven women in early 30s achieve dream bodies at home while eating foods they enjoy. So think about another thing, like the situation they're in right now, and what do they want to do, but still achieve the result. So craft your message that way. And then you have a guarantee. So select your guarantee. First one is no questions asked. So it speaks for itself. I don't like your service. Give me a refund. You say, okay. Conditional guarantee based on terms and conditions. If you do this, if you don't do this, this or that, I won't give you a refund, but if you meet all of the conditions that I set out and you don't achieve the results, I'll give you the refund. Then you have a performance guarantee. So if you don't achieve X, I will work with you and then for free until you do. Anti-guarantee, which I do, is I know my blueprint works. I see other coaches that I work one-on-one with achieve amazing results, achieve the 10K per month in less than 90 days. So that's why I say like, well, there's no guarantee. I don't need it. And if you don't achieve the results, well, you didn't apply it, like you didn't put in the effort and time. So you choose what works for you. So in this case, there's an example, performance guarantee. So I help career-driven women in early 30s achieve dream bodies at home while eating foods they enjoy. So that's the offer. If you don't lose X amount of pounds in 8 weeks, I will work with you for free until you do. Simple. And you don't necessarily always have to use this. You can use this if you see the person is on the edge. Like, don't give them a guarantee, but then they say, like, oh, I don't know. And you say like, okay, if you don't lose this many pounds in 8 weeks, I'll work with you for free until you do. Does that work for you? We've gone through brand and long-term vision, who to serve, how to price your product and service, optimizing your service delivery, client acquisition. That was a long one. And now we're at client retention at $100,000 per month while working 4 hours per week or less as an online coach. Okay, so delivery and word of mouth. Most of the times people, if they don't like your service and they don't see the results, they'll shout that you suck to everyone and anyone they can. And most of the people who enjoy your services will say that to a few of their friends. So be very wary of that. And that's why we covered this in your target audience section, that you need to be very clear on who you're working with and who you're not working with. So you sometimes have to say no to prospects that can become clients who shout that you suck to everyone they know. And same goes, this goes for both of these. You can get one client and that client will tell two of their friends that they like you, and then those friends will like you as well, and you're going to get unlimited amount of clients. Or this person will tell these people that you suck, and these people will tell everyone else that you suck. So again, keep that in mind. Another good thing is about a community is that about like online coaching is building a community that can support one another and build that additional value. And if someone doesn't see the results for themselves, but they see that others are achieving the results, they will be motivated to achieve those results and might think that it's not your fault that they're not achieving results, but it's something wrong with them. So community support. Imagine you're sleeping. You have a community and some of your clients are in a different time zone, or you're maybe on holidays and you can't respond at the time. And someone says, how do I do a certain thing? And then another of your clients who already seen some success and found what works for them says that I found that this worked for me. Another said, well, this helped me do this. So they're helping your clients for free while you're sleeping. So that's why you want to have that community. And then also encouragement. So if, let's say, one of your clients is not seeing any results and they go into your community and sees people saying like, oh, I just lost 5 pounds, and other people are encouraging them, they're going to say like, okay, well, others are seeing results. Why am I not seeing results? Like maybe I'm doing something wrong. So that's a good way to add that kind of a leverage to your side. And all of that happens while you're sleeping or you're on the holidays or you just can't respond at the time. And once they buy into your program, they have to feel like the output is worth more than what they input in terms of price. So they always have to feel like they had low input in terms of money, but they achieved amazing results and they got out more than what they paid for. And this is again why it's important to give quick wins. The quicker you give the win, the more likely they are going to be in this share section right here. So key points to keep in mind: communication and support, results over time, high perceived value, cross-sells and upsells, quality over quantity of people in the community. We've discussed this, how you identify your ideal client, your target audience of people who are very alike, who have similar beliefs, pain points, and are in general similar, so that the quality of the community is really high. And once you have also cross-sells and upsells, you are able to give that more value. So sometimes people actually want to buy more from you, but they don't know how to. And there's like, well, I'd like to achieve this and do this, but this coach doesn't offer this. So like perceived value is actually lower. And if you say like, well, yeah, I do sell this, or I have someone on the team, like we know how to do this. And the perceived value, even that they're paying for like more, is much higher. So that's what you have to keep in mind. And of course, results over time. So the longer it takes to achieve the results, the less likely they are to say that you're good. We've just gone through a brand and long-term vision, who to serve or your ideal client, how to price your product and service, optimizing your service delivery, client acquisition, client retention, hiring and managing a team in $100,000 per month while working 4 hours per week or less as an online coach. So I built a business that we went from 0 employees to 20 people in about a year, and about 0 to 30 people in about 18 months or so. So a year and a half. And this is what I've learned. So when to hire as an online coach. First of all, you probably want to start with a video editor once you're at about 10K per month. So you can take back your time and stop editing those videos, those ads, that organic content. You want to have someone who can do all that work for you, and they're probably going to do it better than you as well. So that can actually improve the performance of the content that you put out. Then you want to get an appointment setter, so you can, again, buy back the time of not having to DM people, stay in that, middle of the funnel, messaging everyone, responding, and so on and so forth. You want to have someone who's doing it all for you, so that you can, again, focus your time on things that bring more value to your business. Like instead of working in the business, you're working on the business. Then at about 50K per month point, you get a closer. So instead of you having to jump on every single sales call, you will have someone who closes the deals for you. So what you can do then is make sure that your clients are achieving the results, that your programs are on point. And that is important because you're going to be getting a lot more clients. So the more clients you get, the more you need to spend time to make sure that they're all happy and they're all seeing the results. At that point, at about 80 to 100K per month, you want to get a customer success manager who is going to kind of keep people accountable and make sure they're happy. So again, the more people you have in the program, the more likely someone is to be unhappy. That's why you need a dedicated person to make sure everyone is happy. And finally, delivery. So at this point, you can actually get people who will do programming for you, communicate with the clients for you, and do all of that. And what you can do with those people you hire for delivery, you can actually introduce them to your brand. So if you watch this training from the very start, I talked about how you can grow a personal brand, or you can build an actual business on the side that you can exit and potentially sell, or just spend a couple of hours working on every single month. So once you hire those people who do the delivery as well, what you can do is introduce them as experts on your social media and say like, look, we hired a team, we're growing, like the service delivery is better than it ever was just because of these people. And then they start sharing their knowledge, and that builds more trust. And this way you are able to remove yourself from business, from social media, from service delivery. Like people don't need you as much as they did before, but you're making a lot more money. So this way you have an actual business that you can work on, or actually hire everyone to do everything for you while you only work a few hours per week. So that is very, very important. And of course, if you see you need to hire someone else, like you need help with something else, like you need a virtual assistant or anything else, well, see what really fits for your business the most. Then do this. Hire when you feel like you're about to have a bottleneck. So the best thing I've ever done was I actually saw like, okay, I always kept the communication very open with my team and said, always ask them like, let me know when you're feeling like you're going to cap out soon. And he told me that, and we hired someone, and we never had that point of like, oh, damn, like this is like, we don't have enough people. What do we do now? It's always like, okay, we need to hire this person just because in about a month or so, we might reach that cap and it's going to be very difficult. So think about that. Keep the promises you make to your team. I've seen so many good people leave their companies just because their bosses made a promise to them and they didn't keep the promise. And those people go out and build a competing business or anything like that. So you don't want to be that boss. If you make the promise, keep the promise. In general, you don't want to be that person that doesn't keep their promises. Pay them well. So pay your team well. If you don't pay them well, especially if they're an amazing employee, they're going to leave you. And you might as well pay your team more, have a happy team that won't leave you, and you can just chill back and watch them do the work and grow your business for you. Celebrate and reward for achieved milestones. So don't just let the achieved milestones and like slide. Reward people for it. Acknowledge it. People want to be acknowledged. Make them feel like they matter and are important to your team. I've noticed when I had a team, like when we built that team, they always got like new offers from competing companies, but they never did that. And I asked, like, they never took the offers, and I asked them why. And they said it's not only about the pay, it's about the people that they work with, and they feel like they're important and they're being listened to. So that is very important. You'll notice that at a certain point, it's going to be not business problems, but people problems. Hire fast, fire fast. The quickest I fired a person was on week 1, day 5 of their working day, because they were just like not doing anything, like literally. And like the girl, she at first she seemed like a perfect fit for the position that we hired her for. And then I noticed like she didn't do any work, like she didn't even log in. I was like, well, that tells me a lot about the person. And yeah, she didn't do any work, so I pretty much fired her on day 5. And then let them experiment and be autonomous. Another thing is that keeps the people around is let them be them and let them experiment if they have an idea. Just because they've spent so much more time doing the thing that they're doing, they're going to be better than you, and let them experiment. Like give them the freedom to experiment. Of course, there are SOPs that they need to follow, but let them be autonomous, and they will develop some things for your business that you'll be surprised of and how much money it can actually make you. So let them do this. And be the employer you would want to work for. I've seen young business people who, like very young, who start their business and they're like, so it's such a bad employees. They're like treating their employees like shit. And I asked them like, would you want to work for yourself? And he was like, no. I was like, exactly. So why are you doing this to your employees? Like that you cannot do that. So be the employer you'd want to work for. We've probably all had bad employers, and all that like shitty boss, and we were like, I'll never be like that. So make sure you don't become that. Then managing your team. There are a few different apps. There are plenty more than this. I've just listed out the ones that I've used. So there's Asana, Trello, Monday.com, and ClickUp. Asana is good. I didn't really like it. It didn't really work for me. Then Trello is free. And it's not really my kind of thing. I mostly use ClickUp. I have most experience with ClickUp. What I recommended from the functionality perspective, yes. From the platform itself perspective, no, because it's very glitchy. So Monday.com is good. It has very similar functionality to ClickUp, but it's not as glitchy. So I would go with Monday.com over all of these. And as I just mentioned, at first you have cash problems when you start out, then you have business problems, and then you have people problems. So be very mindful of that, because you will reach a point where you're going to have people problems. And sometimes those are a lot more tiring than business problems. So yeah, and the few books I would recommend is Radical Candor by Kim Scott. Amazing book. It really actually helps with like communication within the business, and actually just any kind of relationship, to be honest. You can take so much from this book. Always recommend this one. So check it out, and create a culture where people can and want to speak up. And this is a great quote from Patty McCord, who is a co-creator of Netflix Culture Deck. She said, if we were discussing something that went wrong and you said, oh, I knew that was a problem, but nobody asked me, then I'd probably run you over in the parking lot because you allow something to go wrong that you saw that was coming. And this is so powerful because in so many businesses, people are afraid to speak up even if they see the problem because they know they're not going to be listened to or they're going to be scolded for what they said. So make sure you create the environment where people actually speak up. And this is like, read her book, Patty McCord's book, Powerful. It's really funny because I remember 3-4 years ago, I was in Melbourne or airport and it was like dead empty. And there were 2 of these books just left laying there. And there was no one around. So I picked one up and I read it on the flight. I didn't steal it. I literally looked around and asked if like the few people that were there, I was like, this is yours? And they were like, no. And it seemed like a cool book. So I took it and read it. And it was very powerful indeed. So I do recommend it. We've just gone through brand and long-term vision, who to serve, how to price your product and service, optimizing your service delivery, client acquisition, client retention, hiring and managing a team. And now we're at the exit stage of the $100,000 per month while working 4 hours per week or less as an online coach. So this is a great example of 2 people who made a significant exits. So Conor McGregor, who sold his business for $600 million. The business was called Proper 12, is called Proper 12. And then we have Mark Cuban, who sold his business for $5.7 billion, and the business is called broadcast.com. So can you do this as a coach? Can you sell your business? And it really depends. And we're going to discuss why would you want to sell and what might cause you to sell your business and different kind of exits that you might have. So Conor McGregor and Mark Cuban couldn't simply sell their names. So they have other brands that they've built. So because Conor McGregor will always be associated with the name Conor McGregor, same as Mark Cuban will always be associated with business with his name. And imagine the business that Conor McGregor built was called Conor McGregor drink or something like that. Well, he would always have to be associated with the brand. That's why you have Proper 12. And that's what they did. So they could say, buy my product, or they could say, here you go, check it out. Here's the business, the new brand that I built that solves your problem. So that's what you can do with your online coaching business as well. You can send people to your other brand that you build, specifically your coaching business, where they will be able to check out what you do. And it doesn't mean you stop promoting your own product on your own personal brand. You do both. So you promote your business with your own personal brand and you promote your business on your business account. This way you are able to have that kind of exit like Mark Cuban and Conor McGregor did. And why would you want to do that? You might say, I always want to be the coach for the rest of my life. And you might think that now, but I've seen some coaches who do their coaching, they build their personal brand around their fitness and then they want to go into business. But all of their content is revolved around fitness. And what happens is that they have to alienate their current audience, meaning losing potential business. Whereas if they had all of those followers directed to their other business, they could still make money off of that or simply sell that business and cash out. Instead, they lose potentially millions of dollars in what they could have sold it for. And there's another option on how you can exit, because there are 2 exit options as an online coach, and one only works for, like, you can only sell your brand, like your other brand that you have, or you can hire a team. So with a hiring a team, it's not an actual exit. Like that's where you will work about 4 hours a week or less, or you will hire someone else to do most of the work for you. So you only have to work like an hour or so. But it's still like you're kind of exiting, but you're not really exiting the business. So when you sell your brand, you completely disassociate yourself from the brand, or majority of the brand is disassociated from you, and you pretty much cash out. you can still keep a percentage stakehold in the business, but it will be run by someone else. You will have more cash on hand, and you might have to work, I don't know, maybe like once a month or so. But hiring a team will require you still be associated with the brand. So what will happen is that you will still post content with you in the business, but you will have the team around it. So there's different kind of exits that you can have. And removing yourself from the business, so we've discussed this in hiring a team section, but I'm mentioning here again. So you hire a different kind of, you fill out different roles along the way as you grow, so that you can buy back your time. So you have video editor, then you don't have to spend time editing the videos. Then you get an appointment setter who does all the pretty much middle of the funnel appointment setting. Then you have a closer who kind of steps in at the bottom of the funnel. So you only work with people in the program already. Then you have a customer success manager. So then you only focus on delivering the best results, and then you hire people who focus on delivery. And once you have those people also in your team, you can start introducing them in your social media as experts and specialists and part of your team. So instead of appearing in every single video on social media, you can only appear in 1 or 2 videos per week. So that's kind of how you do go about it. And benefits coach, 12-month strategy. So I'll be very clear, I'm not planning to sell this business at any time, but I am considering of removing myself from day-to-day operations in the very near future. So I only started this coaching a couple of months ago, but my clients that I work with one-on-one right now are seeing great results. And what I have now is I work with people one-on-one, and I offer them a program as well. So it kind of buys back some of my time. Within about 6 months, I will have an appointment setter, video editor, social media manager, and YouTube specialist, and turn this into group coaching. So instead of doing one-on-one, I'll do group coaching. If you're not watching this from the very start, look at it. I think brand and positioning section is where I covered the group coaching. So this is, and why would I hire these people that I didn't really mention in the previous slide, is because social media manager and YouTube specialists are very specific to my business. And I want to bring these people into my brand as well, so that they could talk to online coaches as well, how to be more effective with their social media and so on, and YouTube specialists too, that will help me reach more people on YouTube as well. So, and within about 12 months, I will get a closer, customer success manager, and a sales coach. So this way I will bring even more specialists to the brand. And Better Fit Coach will not be just a brand and Better Fit Coach. I'm not going to be a Better Fit Coach because people associate Better Fit Coach with me now, but it will be every coach who joins the program, the group coaching, will become a Better Fit Coach. So this will be more of a community that pretty much of established and up and coming online coaches who know what they're doing. So, and this way I will start introducing more people on social media, and I will only appear once in a while, so that I can work on the bigger picture of the business that I have in mind for the next 5 to 10 years, so that I can build this into a business like no other in the fitness industry. But this is the goal for the next 12 months. So that is all of how you can scale to $100,000 per month while working 4 hours per week or less, and how to essentially exit your business. So if you're interested in, if you need help scaling your online coaching business, I don't help you with building programs, that's on you, and finding the best systems in terms of delivery is still on you. I can guide you in the direction of different kind of systems that there are. I can help you with hiring, and I can mostly focus on helping you with client acquisition. So I scale coaches to 10K per month in 90 days or less. As I mentioned, this business is only at around 2 months now, and I have a couple of clients who already reached 10K in less than 90 days. So others are pretty much very close. So if you want to scale to 10K per month in 90 days or less, schedule a call. I will see if I can help. I do have to note that I don't really work with every single coach. You have to be at a specific level. But if you need help, schedule a call. And if not, watch some of my other videos, and I will see you in the next one.